fourth graders. Hope you're doing well. You really missed. Today, we are going to explore writing a narrative. First, what is a narrative? A narrative is a story which can be real or imaginary. In any narrative, there are important elements which are divided into three parts. Part 1 is called the introduction. In the introduction, we introduce the characters or the people in the story with a hint about what they are like, describing them, and the setting, which is the time and the place, and a main problem that starts their story. Then we move to part 2. Part 2 is called the plot of events or the body. In the body, we start telling the events in order, which means we tell what happened to the characters in order to solve their first problem. But things rise and the problem becomes bigger as they reach a climax, which is a bigger problem that leads to a solution at the end. Finally, we move to part 3, which is the conclusion. In the conclusion, we write the solution, which means how the problem was resolved and the feelings of the characters or the lesson they learned. Now we will regard the sample narrative below and analyze its parts. Note that we always use the past tense in narrative writing to show that it happened sometime in the past, and this is shown in the first paragraph or the first part of the narrative, which includes the setting. That means time and place. So, read each paragraph and then pause to relate it to the explanation to see whether all the elements are included correctly. Take your time, read well, pause to analyze. Good luck. Now that you've read the narrative, let's recall the story or narrative elements. Read each question carefully and then answer it, and then look at the answer given. Finally, after being familiar with narrative writing and narrative analyzing, I want you to write your own narrative following the given sample. Make sure to use the past tense and include all the narrative elements correctly.